everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. My name is Ritesh Osta. I'm one of the top rated Fiverr Pro in the category of go-to-market strategies, B2B marketing, performance ads, and AI app development, right? And today we are going to talk about a very interesting topic, which is what is dark funnel part 3. So if you are just tuning in, if you're just joining in, please go ahead and watch the part 1 and the part 2 before you come on to part 3. Even if you don't want to do it, this is a continuation of the session in which I'm trying to answer some of the questions which are out there in Quora, Reddit, and other places. So we are collaborating, we are corroborating these questions into one place, and I'm trying to answer as many as possible. So just stay tuned and let's go through some of the questions. And I hope and I'm pretty sure that you're going to enjoy this entire session. All right. So what is dark funnel and how it affects B2B sales? Part 3. All right, so let's move on. What metrics actually help measure dark funnel success? All right, when most activity is anonymous, how do you track ROI or the sales influence? Okay, that's a very good question. There's a dark funnel, right? Your prospect is sending signals out there, and you are tracking those signals in real time so that you can create your outreach strategy. Okay, and that's the whole game that's going on. The question is, how do we track it? How are we going to measure all the work that we are putting in tracking those signals and creating a funnel in this dark space? Okay, so there are certain signals that you can certainly track. Okay, the first is the number of ICP firms showing up in the dark traffic. For example, there's a signal out there for there are 10,000, 5,000 companies visiting your website, right? Out of that, you will create a segment of all the visitors who are visiting your pricing page and demo page and like so on, but they are not fully, booking your calendar. Then you create an outreach, right? You identify the company and you find out the decision makers and you do an outreach and see how many firms are actually showing up, right? So for example, I started with say 5,000 visitors to your site. Out of that, 500 visited your demo page and pricing page, did not book a demo. And out of that, you reached out to 300 of them, and maybe 50 of them actually opened the email, clicked on something, and showed some sort of form of an interest. Correct? So you need to connect the signal to the conversion. Okay, the signal can be website visitor, the signal can be job posted, the signal can be social signals, right? There is a bunch of companies who are talking about certain product and service in social media, and you are tracking them, and you are reaching out to all those companies in real time. So out of say 1,000 companies you reached out in real time, maybe 50 of them, they visited your site after your outreach. And out of that 50 of them, 10 of them went ahead and booked calendar with you, right? So eventually you need to connect those signals to the conversion. And that's where the entire that should be the entire goal of the metrics when it comes to dark funnel. Okay. Demo booked within X number of days of signal spike, or demo booked within X number of days of a signal out there. So if you are a manpower service agency and you are tracking the number of job posts around certain job title, then what do you need to track? Okay, there are 500 companies who have posted this job. You are able to reach out to 300 companies in time. Out of that, 50 companies actually responded back to you positively, and 10 companies actually booked a call with you. Okay, and then possibly 2 company or 5 company became your customer. So you can actually put up a metrics, but the goal is always to connect the signal to the conversion, right? That's the thumb rule that you need to follow. And the attribution moves from last click to signal based influence model. Okay, so in the traditional funnel, it is last click. That means they visited the website. What is the last activity they did or they visited the landing pages, that is where you start the tracking. But that's not where the journey starts. The journey starts way beyond that. So in dark funnel, the attribution moves from first click, last click to the signal based, right? Okay, so that's what you need to do. Track signal, trigger the sequences, trigger the outreach, and then just see the conversation flow, where the conversation is flowing. Track those, and you'll be good. All right, let's move on to the next one. Why is dark funnel more relevant now than it was 5 years? Okay, what changes in B2B behavior, tools, and channels have made it possible to rely on, impossible to rely on traditional funnels today? Okay, all right. Why is dark funnel more relevant today than what it was 5 years back? Okay, the answer is very simple. The answer is AI. 5 years back, if you want to track any signal, you have to do it manually. You have to hire a bunch of VAs. You got to build automations. It was very painful, and the automations are not intelligent for the most part. It was rule based, trigger based. You can do only that stuff. You could not take intelligent decisions. Now with AI, you can run things, you can automate things, you can scan things, you can scrape things, and also you can take intelligent decisions. And now that's the power that we have in 2025, what we did not have in 2020. Right? For example, buyers who are engaging with your peer content, your social media, your peers' social media, G2 reviews, community threads. Okay, all of that signals can be put together and the AI can process it in real time. That is something that is possible now, so it's not possible in 2020. Right? Decision making is now multi-threaded, so it is not just trigger based or condition based. Okay, it is now intelligent in many ways. Okay, for example, if a company is posting a job and at the same time the company is being acquired, these two are two different signals, and a traditional workflow cannot make that decision, right? But if you feed that information to AI can understand better. You can train the AI, saying that, hey, this is a better signal than just one signal. And if the company is being acquired, it also means there will be a change of exact level people, or there will be more people coming in. Okay, and then accordingly the outreach can happen, right? So decision making is now AI based, multi-threaded, okay, across different buying committees, different channels, across different signals. Okay, and the rise of tools like AI agents and signal traps. Rise of AI agents is the main engine behind the dark funnel rise and the GTM rise in 2025. All right, let's move on. How can teams effectively demonstrate dark funnel impact to leadership? When traditional attribution model falls short, how can teams prove that dark funnel signals are contributed to pipeline growth and revenue? Very good question. How can the sales team convince the leadership that what they are doing in dark funnel is actually impacting their bottom line, their revenue? Right? And that's a good question. That is what the leadership team is going to ask, right? Okay. So that is where a good reporting and good attribution and good indicators really helps. Okay. Track leading indicators like number of ICP accounts showing up or having an engaged signal volume. So if you're doing account-based marketing, the traditional way of account-based marketing was find 100 companies who meets your ICP and just start hammering them left, right, center until some of them start showing interest. Now you have more information about those companies, what those companies are doing, what kind of posts they are doing on social media, what kind of jobs they are posting, what kind of queries they are having, right? There are so many signals that you can track. And then you can put all those signals in one place and put the agentic solutions and run AI. You can start taking decisions, right? You can start taking action. And then you can basically, using scoring and using the intelligent workflow, you can take better decisions, right? So if out of 100 companies, if there are 5 companies who are showing immediate relevant need, You can reach out to them right now with the right kind of message, right? Saying that, hey, you know what? I just got to know that you or your company is going through M&A, and you are also, increasing your hiring a lot. So that two signals you've already got. So when you reach out to them with this relevant information, they're going to be more interested in your outreach as compared to, like a blanket outreach. Okay. And that is going to help you increase the pipeline velocity, the pipeline, the size of the pipeline, the volume of the pipeline, also the pipeline velocity, right? So another example is, out of that entire prospect who are in the deal stage, or who you are dealing with in terms of leads and prospect, if there are certain companies who are visiting your website over and over again, and they are checking out your pricing page, they are downloading your case studies, that is also a signal. So if they are showing more engagement towards your social media, G2, CRM activity, if there is a spike there, then you can prioritize those accounts over others so that you can, increase the pipeline velocity and you can close the deal fast. Not all the deals are equal, right? Some deals are more important, some deals are more urgent. If you can create a solution based on these signals that can help your business development team, they can increase the pipeline velocity significantly, right? And you can always leverage the AI metric. So always put up the metrics in place and see how it is affecting the pipeline volume and the pipeline velocity. All right. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. What mindset shift is needed to truly act on dark funnel behavior? How do we move beyond lead gen thinking to signal based selling? Yeah, that's a very good question. Traditionally, the sales team or the business development team were very reactive, right? So they are just checking their CRM every single morning. Oh, tuck, there is a lead coming. Very good. Somebody filled up the contact us form, or somebody filled up the demo form. Very good. Now let me send an email and schedule a book a call. Right? That is what traditionally, for many companies, that's the hard reality. So the mindset is always reactive, inbound. Okay, that means something happens, there's a lead coming in, I do the work, or else I can just sit around. But what if there are prospects who are posting jobs and visiting your sites and checking your social media handles, checking your G2, checking your competitors in G2, doing all of that. And they are just touching you around here and there. They are there, right? But you are just sitting in the dark. You have just closed all the light and you're just sitting in the dark. By all statistics, I can assure you that there are less than 2% of the people who actually interact with your assets, like website, app, social media. Less than 2% will actually go ahead and fill up the form and go for it. Less than 2%. 98% of the people, even if they are interacting with your assets, online assets, they may not go ahead and do a form submission. And you're missing out. These are low-hanging fruits. Right? So the mindset shift that needs to happen is to go from form submissions, inbound, to signal based. Always, keep your radar up to listen to the signals, track the signals, and then reach out to them. So being reactive to proactive. Okay. And also the next step is focusing on buying groups, not just individuals. See what is the buying behavior, buying pattern. Okay. Real-time response, pre-targeted outreach, personalized automation. That's the shift. That means, if you're seeing that there are certain signals that are coming up, then you personalize your outreach according to the need of the prospect, and you don't have to do it manually. You can automate that as well, right? AI can do it for you. Sales and marketing team needs to collaborate more on signals. A lot of signals is limited to marketing team and the data analytics team. It does not get passed towards the sales team. And sales team is in dark of all the signals. For example, if you have a product, SaaS product, and the trial to paid conversion ratio is say 5%. For example, for every 100 free trial users, there are only one paid user for your app. right? But out of that, 90 out of that free trial users, there are few users. There are a certain percentage of users who just need a little bit of nudge to become a paid user. They are already checking on the paid. They are already checking on the paid feature. Okay, they are playing around more. They are visiting the application more. They are doing more with the app. They just need a little nudge to become a paid user. So if you can track those signals from your product analytics team, if that signal can go, okay, fine. Even the 1%, only 5% of them are converting into paid users, but there are 20% of them who are checking out the paid feature. So then you can, create an outreach towards that 20% of the users and then give them a little nudge, maybe a little discount and offer to make them into a paid user, right? Okay, so that's the mindset shift from reactive inbound to proactive signal based. So move from lead gen to intent orchestration. That's the mindset shift that the business development team and the product led team needs to have. Okay, let's move on. What's the next one? What are the common mistakes team makes when acting on dark funnel insights? From signal overload to poor follow-up, where does B2B team typically stumble when trying to activate dark funnel data? Okay, mistakes. All right, let's talk about mistakes. The number one mistake, in my opinion, is the lack of prioritization. Not every signal is equal. Okay, just because you have got 5,000 website visitors doesn't mean that you have to reach out to all of them, right? Just because there are certain companies visiting your site doesn't mean that you have to actually create a campaign around that. Suppose, let me give you an example. Suppose there are 5,000 website visitors, but out of that 4,000 website visitors are just going to be your blogs. That means they're not really your buying customer. Right? They don't have the intent. Maybe they're just there to learn something. They're not ready. Maybe you can run retargeting ads. You can do that. But they're not really ready. You don't have to, spend a lot of time figuring about them and reaching out to them. No, you don't have to do that. But yes, out of that 5,000, maybe 500 are checking your demo page, product demo, downloading a case study. That is where you need to prioritize and focus. So not all signals are equal and not all signal means intent. Okay, so you need to really prioritize your signals and then you need to orchestrate your campaigns according to that priority. And you also need to personalize the outreach accordingly. Okay. No ICP filters, team treat all traffic the same. Yeah, you cannot treat all the traffic and all the signals the same. Okay. For example, if your target audience is companies with 5 million to 50 million revenue, so target that. Create a ICP filter, right? Create a segment filter. Because if somebody from Microsoft visited your site and you decide to run paid ads and outreach, then Microsoft has like 500,000 employees, correct? So what's the point? And Microsoft is not really your target audience. Even if you do the outreach, you have 500,000 people to choose and you're going to spend a lot of time. And even if you reach out to them, what's the point? They're not really your ICP, right? They're just too big. You don't cater to them. So you got to create your segmentation and ICP. Slow and generic follow-up. Okay, generic, slow, standard follow-up doesn't work. Put up the AI engine, put up the personalization engine. You can do all of it. Your outreach can be much more cooler than what it was in 2015. So make it relevant and timely. And siloed team, sales and marketing team not collaborating is not going to work. Okay, the sales and marketing team in today's world, in the JTM era, needs to collaborate and interpret the signals in real time to create the right kind of outreach. Okay, so that's some of the mistakes that you need to avoid. So start working on it, start from the prioritization and make sure that you follow all the steps. All right. The next question, what one thing founders or RevOps team can start doing this week? Okay, what simple immediate action to begin engaging with the data. Okay, one thing that you can do today or this week. Okay, if you're in the RevOps team or if you're in the GTM team, don't wait for the leads. Build a trigger-based outreach that starts in them. Don't wait for the leads. All right. The first place that I typically start is the website visitors. Okay, all you have to do is just put up a 6sense or factors or RB2B tracking code, and many of these platforms are free for a certain number of visitors. So you can just start with free plan. You don't even have to go and pay, and start analyzing that data, right? Look for other signals, social listening, APIs, job post, text tag signal, M&As, whatever you want, right? Make a list of the signals and then start tracking them one by one. Okay, the first place that I would start is always the website visit. So think, signal, engage, qualify, and then convert. That is what you need to do week one. So start thinking about the signals. And if you are not sure about the signals, start from the website visit. That is something that you can do it right now in the next 1 week. All right. Okay, I think that was about it. It was another quick fire round, rapid fire. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I was able to answer the question. I tried to answer the question with whatever knowledge that I have, and I'm also a student in this game, and I'm trying to learn as much as possible. Please go to the comment section, and if you feel there's something that can be added, please add that. If you want to, you know, give out something which I don't know, I'll be very happy. If there is a question in your mind, please go to the comment section, add the question. We are going to ensure that we are going to take all the questions and create another quick fire round webinar in the coming days. Okay, with that, thank you so much. Please visit our site. And also, I'm one of the top rated Fiverr Pro freelancer in the category of GTM, go-to-market strategy, B2B marketing, account-based marketing, and AI app development. So do check out my profile as well. And please do subscribe to this channel because we are going to give out a lot of value bombs in the coming days. So thank you so much. You have a nice day ahead. Thank you. Bye-bye.